Have you ever noticed that your autistic child can memorize hundreds of words, but still struggles to understand categories like animals, food, clothes, or emotions? We used to think our son simply needed more vocabulary. But the real challenge was helping him understand how words connect together. When our son was younger, he could name objects perfectly. He knew apple, dog, car, and chair. But if we asked him, which of these are animals? He became confused. Understanding groups and classification was much harder than simply memorizing words. And we discovered this affects many autistic children. Before we continue, please subscribe to our channel, www.youtube.com/neuroparenting-bb4p. One thing we learned very quickly is that autistic children often process information differently from neurotypical children. Many autistic kids are incredible at noticing details. Our son could immediately spot tiny differences between objects. But understanding abstract concepts like categories or groups was much harder. For example, he understood the word banana. He understood the word apple. But understanding that both belong to the larger category, fruit, did not come naturally to him. His brain focused more on the differences than the similarities. This became a problem in many daily situations. At school, teachers often use categories constantly without realizing it. They say things like, put the animals together, or find the transportation words. At home, we use classification all the time too. Toys go into groups, foods belong to categories, clothes are separated by type. Even conversations rely heavily on understanding categories. Without this skill, many autistic children struggle with language development, reading comprehension, organization, and social understanding. At first, we tried teaching categories directly using flashcards. We would place pictures on the table and ask, which ones are fruits? But our son became frustrated quickly. We realized we were making the same mistake many parents make. We were teaching categories as abstract school exercises instead of connecting them to real experiences. Everything changed when we started making classification visual, physical, and connected to daily life. One thing that helped enormously was reducing language complexity. Instead of giving long explanations like, these objects belong to the same category because they share similar characteristics, we used short, concrete phrases. Apple and banana go together. Both are fruit. We also learned that autistic children often need to physically see and touch objects while learning categories. Abstract verbal teaching alone was usually not enough for our son. The more sensory and visual the activity became, the easier it was for him to understand. Another important thing was teaching one category at a time. We used to introduce too many groups together. Animals, colors, foods, clothes, and vehicles all at once became overwhelming. Once we slowed down and focused on one group repeatedly for several days, progress became much faster. The first practical example is something that works very well in a school environment. One teacher helped our son by creating visual sorting stations in the classroom. She used baskets with clear pictures attached to them. One basket showed animals, another showed food, another showed transportation. Instead of only asking verbal questions, she gave students physical cards with pictures. The children moved around the room placing cards into the correct baskets. This worked much better for our son because his body was involved in the learning process. At first, he needed support. The teacher modeled examples slowly. She would say, "Car goes with transportation." Then, she physically placed the card in the correct basket. She repeated this many times without pressure. Over time, our son started recognizing patterns himself. One important detail was that the teacher corrected mistakes gently without turning the activity into a test. If he placed a banana into the animal basket, she calmly said, "Banana is food," and moved it slowly while repeating the category. This reduced anxiety and kept learning positive. If your child struggles in school with classification tasks, ask teachers whether they can add visual sorting activities instead of relying mainly on worksheets or verbal instructions. The second example is how we worked on classification at home. We stopped trying to teach categories at a table for long periods because our son lost focus quickly. Instead, we turned it into a game during playtime. One activity that worked surprisingly well involved toy boxes. We placed different objects on the floor: toy cars, toy animals, kitchen items, and clothing pieces from dolls. Then, we used colored containers: blue box for animals, green box for food, red box for vehicles. At first, we did the sorting ourselves while narrating slowly. The cow goes with animals. The bus goes with vehicles. We repeated category names constantly. Then, we invited him to participate without forcing speech immediately. He could point first or simply place the item into the box. Eventually, we encouraged simple phrases like "cow is animal" or "bus goes vehicle." Later, we made the activity harder very gradually. We added categories like things you wear, things you eat, and things you use in the bathroom. One thing we discovered was that autistic children often learn categories better when the examples are highly meaningful to their own interests. Our son loved trains, so transportation categories became much easier for him than categories he found boring. Using special interests can dramatically increase attention and motivation. The third example is integrating classification learning into daily life. This became the most natural and powerful method for us because it removed the feeling of therapy. At the grocery store, we started grouping items together verbally. These are fruits. These are vegetables. These are drinks. We physically pointed to shelves while saying category names. At home, while putting away laundry, we turned sorting into communication practice. Socks go together. Shirts go together. Dad's clothes here, your clothes here. Cooking became another excellent opportunity. While preparing dinner, we grouped ingredients naturally. Cheese and yogurt are dairy. Chicken and fish are proteins. Because these activities happened repeatedly every single day, category learning became part of normal life instead of a separate lesson. One important thing we want parents to remember is that autistic children may need much more repetition before categories become automatic. Sometimes our son appeared to understand a group one day and then forgot it completely the next day. That inconsistency can feel discouraging, but it is very common. We also learned not to rush toward abstract categories too quickly. Many educational materials jump immediately into difficult concepts like emotions, seasons, or occupations. But for many autistic children, concrete categories like food, animals, and clothing are much easier starting points. Another thing that helped was limiting visual clutter. Too many objects on a table overwhelmed our son. When we reduced activities to only 4 or 5 items at a time, he focused much better. Most importantly, we stopped treating mistakes as failures. Classification is actually a very complex cognitive skill. It requires recognizing similarities, ignoring irrelevant differences, and understanding abstract relationships between objects. That is a huge challenge for many autistic children. And if you feel frustrated because your child can memorize words but struggles connecting them together, please know you are absolutely not alone. We went through the same confusion ourselves, but with repetition, visual support, and real-life practice, we slowly saw progress. Small moments matter. One correct category today can become independent understanding months later. And if this video helped you feel supported, please subscribe to our channel, www.youtube.com/neuroparenting-a4p. We share our real experiences as parents of an autistic child, practical strategies that helped our family, and honest conversations about the challenges neurodivergent families face every day.